It's your girl Tia Shasha High, the host of Millennial High, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. Today's show was a long time in the making. Needless to say, I'm ecstatic to have Trace Zen on the show today. She is an energy life coach and Reiki master. She'll share with us how we can align with our purpose and how doing so serves the world. Also, throughout the show, she'll drop some gems along the way about how we can live powerfully, purposefully, and prosperously. And our Trendsetter segment, which highlights people, music, ideas, and events that are on the leading edge, we'll discuss some of the ideas behind the PA Women's Conference that was in Philadelphia last Tuesday. I mean, this conference had packed with powerhouses. Michele Obama was there, Shonda, Rhimes, Brene, and many other phenomenal women. A little bit about Millennial High. This show serves as a platform for those who inspire and provoke others to go beyond what they ever thought possible for themselves. If you have an inspirational, uplifting, thought-provoking message you want to share with the millennials of the world, I want you. Be on the show. Email me at millennialhigh@gmail.com and let's connect. But first, as always, let's set the mood. This song, I love it so much. Every time I hear it, it makes me feel good. And that's the title of the song, Feel Good, featuring Daya by Griffin. Stay tuned. Trace Zen is up next. Hey, it's your girl, Tia. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to Millennial High, an inspirational, informational talk show here on 106.5 FM WPPM. Today, I have an amazing guest. As you know, it is my girl, Trace Zen. She's absolutely amazing, and she's going to call in today. She lives in Arizona, so this beauty decided to get up for me at like 8:30 in the morning just so she can be on my show. And Trace, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yay, I got you. I feel like, Trace, are you there? Okay, and so Trace, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy that you made it on the show today. So I'm so thrilled. And let me just tell the listener a little bit about you and who you are. Trace is a lover of life, beauty, and self-empowerment who overcame the constraints at a young age and went on to hold corporate leadership positions before the age 30 as a single mother of 3. She is now a certified life energy coach, Reiki master, and owner of Trace Your Life coaching agency, assisting those on their journey towards powerful and purposeful living. Welcome, Tracy, to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. So excited to talk to you today.
I know. Wait, Tracy, can you just let the listener know about your routine that you did? So I call her just to make sure the phones are going through right and they're working well. So I call her earlier this morning. I'm like, how are you feeling? How does it feel for you? And she set up this entire routine to get into the mindset of this call. So tell them what you did. It's awesome.
Well, this morning I woke up and I normally do a lot. For me and my spirit, I like to be in the spirit in anything I do. You know, energy is everything, and you want to make sure that your mind is in the right place. And so I made my green tea this morning. I actually have some soy scent burning so that I have the right environment. I have my books out, 3 books. Do you want me to tell you what the books are?
Yes.
One of the books that I was looking and going through just to kind of get my mind in the right place is The Astonishing Power of Emotions by Esther and Jerry Hicks. One Day My Soul Just Opened Up by Ayana Sanzan.
Yes.
And then the other book that I was skimming through this morning just to make sure that my energies and my mind is in the right place was Chakra Healing and Karmic Awareness. So those are my books, and I just was sitting here taking notes just to make sure that my spirit was in the right place for you this morning.
Oh, thank you for that. I love you. You're so amazing. So let's just talk about how we even met. So we never really met in person yet, right? Yeah. We have these plans to finally meet eventually. Maybe I'll come to Arizona because I love your energy, your energy healing walks. Like, every morning. So Tracy, what she does is that well, you can tell them.
About the hikes?
Yeah, the hikes.
Oh, yes. Okay, so every morning, I haven't been consistent this week only because I've been traveling right now with my energy healing hikes. But every morning I get up, I go to the mountain, and I started doing this a couple of years ago, and it really was just for me and my mindset and where I needed a space so that I could let go, so that I could release. And then it just became something that was so powerful and so intimate with me that I started to share it with other people and have them come along the journey with me. And what I found out is that when we do these healing hikes, energy healing hikes, is that, whatever is supposed to come, as long as you're open to the experience, and this goes with everything in life, but as long as you're open to the experience and you just don't know what you're going to get, every hike is different, every energy is different, and we really just take our minds into another place. I have this little game that I play with people on the mountain that if anyone says anything that's negative or they have a negative energy, they have to give it to me and I throw it away. And if I find it again, I tell them that I'm going to tell everyone they were digging in the trash. And it actually really works for everyone. They literally, I actually had a young lady, I had a rough morning the other day, and I had a young lady look at me and put her hand out like, oh, there it is.
Uh-oh.
It works to clear your mind and really get yourself in a space to start your day so that you are living your life with intention.
And it helps us too because, obviously I'm not in Arizona, but the sunrise is beautiful. Oh my gosh. And it's so powerful. So just seeing it, because what Trace does, she'll Facebook Live it. And it's just so inspiring. And so sometimes I catch it when I'm at work. And it's something that I would listen to because you do have affirmations that you say towards the end, of the hike. So I love that. So recently you were in Atlanta doing that, right?
I was. So much fun. So awesome. The people of Atlanta, I love them all. I swear I do. I got there. It was nothing but love from the beginning. Of course, that's to be expected when your energies are in the right place, and we can talk about that later. But absolutely loved Atlanta. Absolutely loved the powerful connections that we made out there. And just the journey on what I'm doing and making these connections, I get so excited. You might want to slow me down a little bit because I get so excited when I talk about making these powerful connections and traveling and just really being open to what can happen in your life when you change your mind. It's so powerful. It's so amazing. And it literally is just that one simple step of waking up with intention and changing your mind.
So let's go back a little bit and let's talk about who Trace Zen is. So the woman behind the brand, woman behind Trace Your Life, how did you fall into this track of becoming an energy life coach, a Reiki master? So how did that start for you?
Oh, goodness. Well, I was kind of born that way. I'm just kidding.
Hey, we are. No, it's true.
We are born.
No, but
we are born that way.
We really are born that. We'll get to that, but we really are born that way. So just tell people how you recognized your path. So let's talk about that.
Well, so starting from the beginning, let's say that my path recognized me. And so your path is always going to recognize you. If you're not paying attention, it's paying attention to you regardless. I was 12 years old. I've been through things in life that we all have gone through to teach us who we're supposed to be. And I was about 12 years old when my grandmother was going to see a grieving counselor, because my grandfather had passed. And the lady met me, and she said, that little girl she has a lot of power in her. She has a lot of energy, and you should take her to meet my Reiki teacher. I was 12 years old. So back then, that didn't, people thought Reiki was something weird, like some type of witchcraft or something. And so my grandma did it anyway. She took me anyways, and I learned to do Reiki healing starting at 12 years old. So it's always been in my path, and it actually called to me and found me. Did I lose you?
Yeah, we lost you for a little bit. It's always been in your path? Go ahead.
It's always been. It's always been there. Like I said, at 12 years old, a lady asked my grandma to take me to a Reiki teacher, and so she taught me at 12 years old. I've been doing it since I was 12.
Now, what is Reiki? Share for those who might not know, because I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it because now it's kind of integrated its way into even some hospitals. So let's talk about that.
Well, because it's really high-level healing, it's mindset healing. Just for like the simple version, not to get too deep in it, because I can get really deep in it sometimes. But the simple version is, there's a form. If you've done meditation before, you know that you can channel and track the energies. Everything is energy. Energy surrounds us everywhere. And in mindset, your mindset and your energy are truly connected. And when you are working with the energy, Reiki energy healing, you're just really healing those, lining your chakras and getting aligned with what's really supposed to be happening in your life and getting rid of all of those old blocks and those old limited beliefs. So it's just a way of channeling and healing your mind, body, and soul.
So let's talk about then Trace, your brand, and then we're going to get back to the Reiki healing. But I want to talk about, let's get to Trace Your Life, your brand. So how did that come about?
Well, I have always been, motivational. I've always been a healer. I've always been a teacher, and it's just something that was my passion that I started doing these workshops. And so Trace Your Life, my name is Tracy. Everyone calls me Trace. People who love me and are close to me, they call me Trace. And so I just took on that brand and that name and ran with, Trace Your Life. It came from my name, but it really is about tracing your life, your steps in your path, the finding the purpose of who you are and who you're supposed to be. So literally tracing your life, going back from the very beginning, when you first got here, who you were supposed to be, finding those steps that created who you are now to help you get to who you're supposed to be. Because you're in alignment with all of those things, whether you know it or not. Mm-hmm. Everything in your path is taking you exactly where you're supposed to be. You just have to open up and really be able to pay attention to it. And in the work that I do, is I'm able to help people release those blocks so that they can really see that bigger picture.
So then how did you go from just talking to friends and helping out friends to actually making it something that you do full time? Is this what you do full time, or do you have something that you do?
It is what I do full time now. Yeah, it is absolutely what I do full time. And how did I? Honestly, it was really a spiritual. I could tell you all of the steps, but that would take hours for me to sit here and teach you. But really listening to my spirit, Thea, like that's really what it was. My spirit, your spirit will tell you. Your energy. Again, I say it like every 5 seconds. Energy is everything, and really listening to your spirit. Those things that are bothering you, those things that give you anxiety, the things that make you feel like you're stumbling and you're falling. Those things are telling you that you're not in the right place. And really learning how to get deep inside yourself and listen to yourself is really what gets you to that purpose. And, like I said, I have been doing this work for a while, since I was 12 years old. And so my connection with it and my processes and my path, aligning myself with the people around me who are going in that direction and really changing my mind and letting go of the fear of who I thought I was, supposed to be based on what other people saw in me, and then listening to myself, sitting down and really figuring out who I was, letting go of the pain, the past, the chains, and just walking in what feels good.
Now, saying that, it sounds so simple, but the actual, applying and doing those things seem to be, that's why people need that coaching. And especially someone like you're saying that you've been through that. You've taken the necessary steps to become this energy life coach. So now you can actually reach back and help others.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my thing is, when you said listen to yourself, that kind of stuck out to me. What does that mean exactly? Because we have so many voices in our heads. How do we know which one to listen to?
So, it's funny that you said that, because I just had this conversation with someone the other day. I said, these words came out of my mouth. I said, isn't it amazing when you finally get to a place where you know that you're going in the right path, you're making the right choices, and it's not based on an over-exhilarating feeling, and it's not based on a high negative feeling. It really is just that peace inside, internal peace. Like, if you chase that internal peace and let go of and you're so right about the voices in your head. It's those voices can, even for me, there was moments in times in my life where those voices were making me crazy. But knowing that those high intense feelings, those are not inner peace. Those are not taking you in the right direction. So letting go of that space. And I do make it, I know that sometimes it does sound like it's it's easy. Okay, go do your affirmations. I know this, young lady. She's like, I'm doing my affirmations, they're not working. Well, you're not believing, and you're not being consistent. You want to make sure you're consistent with being in your spirit, and just stay on track with it. And again, that's why you have a coach. But with me, I had a coach. I've had a therapist. I have manifested beautiful, beautiful, powerful women around me, and we all keep each other on the same track. So it's really purposeful to, when you let go of your ego, study the ego, find out really what the ego is doing to you, and how you can make friends with it. How can you be friends with your ego? Because your ego is always going to jump in the way, and if you learn how to make friends with it, trust me, you're gonna be able to get over it and get past it, and it won't hold you back as much. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, it definitely makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. 100%. You know this. So Trace and I, we've had these long, deep conversations, even from just okay, so we met. Let's talk about how we met online. So we met through this, I would say a woman's group. Would you say that's what it is?
Women's empowerment.
Yeah, like a women's empowerment group online, and you have like-minded women who want to go beyond their current situation. So we're basically given certain kind of online challenges and tests to kind of get out of your shell when it comes to having a social media presence. And I meet Tracy there, and I remember she put up this quote that I loved, and it just happened to be, I'm like, oh, I know that quote. I love Abraham. So I remember I messaged you, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, that is my quote. I'm like, oh, you do you watch the videos? And then you're like, since I was 13, my grandmother introduced me to them, and I'm like, awesome. So we kind of connected on that vibe a little bit. So I know, and that's another thing that you said, to have the women or just people in general who surround you to be that kind of guide or sounding board, especially in weaker moments. And I feel like Trace is one of them. For me, every time, if I feel a certain way, and then we're messaging back and forth, she can tap into it, and she knows, Tia, what's up? You know what I mean? Tia, what's up? What's going on? I can read behind the, hey girl, what's up? No, I can read behind that. What's the matter? What's happening? What's going on in your life right now? And it's always so great to have women like that, or men, in your life, as Trace is in mine. Now, tell me a little bit about why coaching is important. So there's so many different type of coaches out there, different type of self-help, or, guru coaching, or, financial coaching, self-love coaching, all these coaches out there. Why is it so important to have a coach?
You need someone to hold you accountable, actually. We get so afraid of ourselves, and some of us don't even realize it. And I say us because I like to include me in everything that I say, because I didn't get here on my own. Absolutely have I had teaching and training and, certifications, and like I said this morning, I read like a crazy person, and, it's important to have someone that's going to hold you accountable and pull you back away from yourself, pull you back away from that fear, and really help you align. It's just like when you're, I always use basketball coaches and, the NFL coaches. They have coaches. They have coaches who help them create the best version of them. That's what a coach does. Aligns you back at all those voices in your head and pulls you right back into that space, hey, this is the direction that we're going. This is where you want to go. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I'm holding the mask. You told me, you drive, and I'll tell you which way, is the best way for us to go, because you just need to be focused on who you are, where you want to go, and where you want to be. That's what a coach does. Sits in the passenger seat, or holds your hand, or helps you, pull up the mountain. Okay, this is the next step. This is the next direction. This is where we need to go, because we need to get outside of ourselves, and we can't always do that when we have so many things going on in our life.
Exactly, and we can't always do that, and we can't always see that. Sometimes it's hard to even understand where you are in the scheme of things. They say it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame, right? So having someone outside of your situation who kind of knows it and understands it to help guide and lead the way. I honestly, and then we're going to talk about this later, but that was one of a lot of women during the PA Women's Conference that I was at. A lot of these like big time exec CEOs, just phenomenal women. They've had coaches. And they'll tell you these. They've had coaches, and even the coaches have coaches. Like everyone needs, like everyone is just as much as you need a mentor. As I kind of feel like they go hand in hand. Like a mentor, you need a coach, and just like the mentor can see they've been where you've been, and as far as career. So they kind of see like the roadblocks. They kind of see, okay, this is where you're going. This is the move you should take next. A coach kind of sees that for your life. You know, the career is mixed into it, but they kind of see where you're going as a person and how to change and handle that mindset.
Exactly. And you know what, Tia, I want to touch on something really quickly because I hear this a lot from people when they're like, well, why should I pick you as a coach? Well, you know, there's so many coaches, so many people that have connections. I met with this young lady yesterday. She literally, we had a talk, and, you know, finally got to the point where I was like, you know, she knows she's a healer. She just hasn't really walked in that. And here's what it is about there being so many coaches. You said in the beginning, there's a coach for this, there's a coach for that. You know, everyone has to walk in their purpose and what they were connected to and their energy. And you were drawn to me, right, because of whatever our energy connected with. So, yes, there's a million coaches out there for a million things. And it's because what you are attracting to you in this life is what that person, based on their energies and their beliefs, like you just said, whatever they've been through, you've been through, and that's why you're connected, so they can help you get to that next level. Doesn't always mean that they're going to be your coach for the next 6 months, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, but whatever it is that they've been through that they need to help guide you through with their purpose for being in your life at that moment. And that goes with any situation, not just coaches, that when you have, you know, you brought those energies to you, you bring these people to you, you really want to know, why is this person here? What can they help me with? How can I help them? That's important, because even when you have a coach, the people that I work with, they help me every single day. It's a give and take. It's a beautiful energy where you share your experiences and you help each other reach that next level.
So what I want to talk about next after this break, because we're going to go into a break, and then we're going to come back with Trace, but we're going to talk about a few of the quotes that I see all around social media that I feel like need more of a dialogue to. Because I don't know, Trace, if you've noticed that, like a lot of times, like you'll see things out there that are that you understand the intention behind it, but it's not really the fullness of what that quote is meant to be. Do you ever see that?
I do.
Yeah, okay, good. So,
and I think people are just reaching out for something sometimes, and it just expressed a little more sometimes. Yes, absolutely, I get that.
So we're gonna talk about that. We're going to talk about the key points that I've learned from the Women's Conference, and one like underlying thread that I've noticed that every woman on stage had. They said it in different ways, they used different words, but it was the same thing, and it just resonated with me. And it's like I heard it so clearly throughout everything, throughout the whole day. So we'll talk about that later. We'll come back after this song. And I want to play, we're talking about energy, and there's this one song I love. It's called Powerful, and it's Ellie Goulding and Major Lazer. Trace, stay on the line, all right? We'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Hey, and we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Millennial High, and I'm Tia Shasha High, your host. I have Trace Zen with me on the phone lines. Trace, are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, girl. And you just heard Powerful by Major Lazer featuring Ellie Goulding and Terrace Riley, right? Yeah. I love that song. It's such a great song. God, it's so underplayed. It was so underplayed, but it's definitely like a keeper. I love that song so much, and I love the lyrics. I don't know if you were able to hear it, but I kind of feel like it's spot on. Like it's perfect. Like there is an energy there. That's what this is all about. And you kept on saying energy is everything, and energy is everything. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, before we get into the quotes and the PA Women's Conference, I want you to talk about a little bit about some of your standout clients, any success stories that you might have, or someone who you obviously don't say any names, but someone whose story really stands out, and what was your part in assisting her or him, right? Because it's not just women you work with.
Absolutely not. Actually, I have been working with a few men lately, so I'm so happy to be able to cross over into working with both men and women at this point. As far as success story goes, I think there's so many powerful things that happen when you're working with someone and helping them get out of their own way that I used to always say that the greatest success story was my own. Mm-hmm. But there is one in particular that I've been thinking about lately. We actually have spoke recently, and she was telling me about all of the things that she's really gone so far up in her life now. She's elevated in her career. She's elevated in her relationships. She's been just, gotten out of her own way. She's still, obviously, it's always a work. Even with myself, it's still always a work. But for her, I'm so proud of the steps that she's made because she made a commitment to stay on course at all times. It wasn't always easy for her, for me, for us, because we really dug deep into her internal blocks and the things that were really holding her back. And one of the things that she said to me, because I asked her, and I was like, what do you think was one of the greatest things that you learned from our work together? And she said that learning how to use her emotions as a guide, but not as, you want to use them, whether you're utilizing them effectively as a guide, but not necessarily as what you're supposed to do, like where you're supposed to go, what your roadmap is. And so for her, she said that was always one of her blocks, her feelings, getting out of her feelings and knowing that those feelings are, based on our past beliefs, or, knowing if that feeling is something she needs to pay attention to, learning her intuition. For me, watching her grow has done so much just to, be able to help other people and know, because honestly, when I think about one of my success stories, her success story is because she was probably one of the hardest ones to get through to.
Right.
Even though she was so committed, she wanted it, she still fought tooth and nail all the way through it. She really did. It was hard for her. It was really an uphill battle for her. And just to see her grow and sprout and be such an amazing, powerful woman now, it just makes me want to it gives me the love for what I'm doing right now. It makes me want to do it so much more, to watch these young women, older women, and men now just grow into being someone who they truly were meant to be. Is such an awesome experience for me, and I know of them as well, but it's just such an honor to be able to have that around me.
Now, do you ever turn down clients? Like, do you ever not accept someone as a client?
Yeah, I do. You really have to be ready. Some people think that, and the energies have to be aligned. You'll hear me say that. I mean, you know me. You talked to me a million times. But you know that the energies have to be aligned. And I can't always... Sometimes people think that life coaching is counseling. I'm not a therapist. I'm a certified life coach, but I'm not a therapist. And some people have some deep-rooted issues that they need to go and seek more professional help to get them to that level where they can have someone and really let someone in to help them and coach them into their greater purpose.
I want to talk a little bit about just these two quotes. One quote is a quote that's actually on your website. And the second is from our favorite, Abraham. So just tell me what this means to you and why you put it on your website, because this is really the only quote that I saw. It's definitely key to me. I love it. It's the greatest act of courage is to be and to own all of who you are, without apology, without excuses, without masks to cover the truth of who you are. Debbie Ford.
Yes, what does that mean to me? That is a lot of work, is what that means to me. Really being who you are, owning who you are, living who you are, breathing who you are. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of just giving up and being vulnerable, really. Giving up and knowing that you're not always in control, and that if you let go and find that inner peace, and, the true source of happiness is always inner peace. If you find that inner peace, you can really, really, I can't even say it with so much and I think about it all the time. I'm like, oh, if I could just show people, and I try to do it based on my stories and my life and my experiences. I have experienced so many things, and in that quote, it literally says it all. Just let go, be vulnerable, be who you are, and then use that power to create whatever it is that you want to have in your life.
Now, I know Brene Brown says something like she came out with this new book. It's called something with the wilderness. I'm going to look it up really quick. And basically what she says is that, if we end up like compromising who we are for people, we lose a piece of ourselves. Like we end up forgetting who we are every time you compromise. She's just like, or negotiate. She was saying, she's like, listen, I'll negotiate a contract. I'll negotiate over dinner. She's like, but I'm not going to negotiate who I am for you so you feel comfortable.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And, I just want to say a little bit to that because some people that I have in my experience they get like, oh, I'm not going to compromise for that person. I'm not going to compromise for that person. Absolutely, you don't want to compromise who you are, right? But some people get lost in that translation of that. I'm not going to compromise who I am, but that doesn't mean you don't do everything in a loving fashion. Everything you do, you should do with love. And so some people get like, oh, I'm not compromising myself. And that really turns a negativity to what that real true meaning is. It's not that you're not loving. It's not that you're not giving. You're always coming from a place of peace and love, and that inner peace is really what you're searching for. That's what you're not compromising.
Exactly. And that's what I love. And that's what I kind of feel like seems to be misconstrued out there in social media land is that very thing that you just said. A lot of people use that as an excuse to be nasty to others, to be, oh, this is just who I am. I'm not going to change for anybody. No, that's not what that means. That's not what this quote means. That's not what, self-love, the self-love movement means. That's not what that is. That's not what that feels like. That's not what that looks like. And then I would even, take it to that person and say, how do you feel when you say that?
There it is. That's exactly what I was.
You know what I mean?
I really was getting ready to say that.
Okay, so
how
this
do you
is
feel when you say that?
Exactly. How does that make it? Because it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good. But it's that underlying truth that you were talking about. That's what's unshakable. That's what's unmovable. That's what you don't compromise. And that's
exactly
right. So this is the second one, my favorite. Okay, so this is an Abraham quote. You are extensions of source energy, and when you allow that pure source energy to flow through you, you are so bright and beautiful. Your timing is good, and you feel vital, and you're alive in your body. And as others see you, they wonder what your magic is. But it only seems like magic because it's experienced by so few. It isn't magic. It is available to everyone. But you must allow your alignment. Talk to me.
I want to give you such a big hug for pulling that out there.
Girl, I love that one.
Hug. Oh, my gosh. You know what? Because I was like, you didn't tell. I knew you were going to pull one out of there, but I didn't know which one you were going to get. That one right there, just literally I got chills right now. I really did. Because I have to tell you, I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was about, oh my gosh, it was just that whole quote that you said right there. Your energy is everything, and when it's truly formed, and I use the word magical too, I do. When it's truly formed in what we call magic, what we feel like is magic, we see someone and they shine and they're light. They're like, oh my gosh, she's lost some weight. She's, working on her. She's found her internal power. Or he, they really, people are all of a sudden attracted to them. Someone who, a couple of months ago, no one would even pay attention to. And it's because they have done that inner work and they're giving out that energy. That energy literally lights up around them. And people who are not aware of the energy and everything, the energy of people really don't understand that. So, it's really important to understand. And I always do this. I do this, and I don't know if I've done this with you, Tia, but I do this with people that I'm working with them to get them to understand energy. I always say, close your eyes and tell me what you see. And most people immediately say nothing, right? But if you do it again, because this is what I was taught, during the Reiki session. But if you do it again, eventually you can see the walls, you can see the windows, you can see the desk. You can eventually you get your mind to see what is still there because it has energy. And we carry that energy inside of us, and it flows through every single decision we make, connection we make, and we're able to bring that to us and push it out, and positive and negative. So mindful of that and being really, really, really aware and mindful that you are consciously, if you're not consciously doing it, you're unconsciously doing it, and it's not going to have the same reward. Does that make sense?
Oh, girl, yes, absolutely, 100%.
And you got me just so excited right now. You know what happens when you get me excited? Because I just will go on. This whole show will go like 2 hours. We need to talk about energy and the alignment of it, because that's so powerful for people to really grasp and get to a point where, man, you have no idea, if you let go and see the flow and the light, it will come to you. I'll start preaching on the radio.
No, and that's what it's for. Girl, stop playing. That's exactly what this platform is for. Preach. Now, but no, seriously. So when you are in alignment, as you say, all that's in your favor flows to you. Like, it's not like a lot of, like, everyone thinks like physical action, like, you know, hustle. That's why one day there was this really cool post where it says hustle, it's crossed out, and then it says align. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is. You don't have to hustle for nothing. You just need to align for it. You need to make sure your energies are in alignment. Yes, exactly. I love it. So I want to share with you something from the PA Women's Convention really quick. And then I just want to hear your thoughts on it. And then I want you to talk about, you know, how can the listener find you, you know, and what's next for you. Okay. So the PA Women's Conference was last Tuesday, and it was amazing. There was Michele Obama was there, Shonda Rhimes, Brene Brown, the mayor of Philadelphia, the governor of Pennsylvania. Like, it was so amazing. The energy in the room was insane. There were breakout sessions and workshops, and then they were the keynote speakers. And Michelle was one, Shonda was one, Carla Harris, Brene Brown, and I love Brene Brown so much. But basically what I realized is one thing that I want to talk about, what Shonda Rhimes said in her speech. So what she was saying was that she's like, she always has a problem answering this one question. Like, how did you overcome the obstacles in your life, you know, being a woman, being African-American, you know, and in show business. And she's like, that's the one question that's always so hard for me to answer, because I never look at anything in life as an obstacle. And my parents never used that word. And it was always an opportunity. And so she was saying how the names that we give our fears, right, prohibit us and stop us from ever going above and beyond, which we know we can do and become. Right. So she's just like, don't name it an obstacle. She's like, it's not. She's like, it's not. She's like, you're using that as your excuse not to go beyond. Like, if you think if you think losing weight is an obstacle, then your mind is automatically going to treat it like an obstacle. It's hard to overcome. It's hard to get over. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be this. But no, if you just see it as an opportunity to transform into something different, then it's a little bit easier, right? So what do you think about that? Not naming things as obstacles, but naming them as opportunities.
So funny that you said that. Again, you know, everything is energy and everything is aligned. And I just had a conversation last night about the obstacles that we name on our money and money coming to us. Because a lot of people, in my experience, that I have experienced, have this, you know, this pre-formed belief that you have to work really hard to get money to come to you. You have to, I have to work hard, and I have to, have 5 jobs, and I have to, go through all of these things. And because I didn't take care of the money before, it's not going to come back to me, they just put so many limitations, and they use those words like, well, I have to be this disciplined now because I wasn't before. So now they place these limitations on their own money, and they don't realize that they are doing that in everything that they say. You are placing limitations. It's not just money. It's everything. It's your relationships. Everything is absolutely an opportunity, and it's an opportunity to get you to that next level. You brought that opportunity to you. you said, I want to have these things happen in my life. And so those lessons are coming to you so that you can be able to effectively use those opportunities and get to the next level. So when you place those words and you place those limited beliefs on top of, and it sounds so silly, but when you just take those little words and those little thoughts out of your mind, you are opening the doors to channel exactly what you want to have come to you.
Exactly. And I want to just piggyback off that and say this too. And a lot of people, they can look at you or whomever, and they can see a lack of action, and a lack of action meaning like, okay, you don't have those 3 jobs, you're not working 24/7, so you really can't want money. So they take that lack of action to mean that you aren't motivated enough, or you're not trying hard enough. But they don't understand that's the same thing to me. Like, you're saying that
Yeah.
you want me then to work 24 hours a day, kill my body, and that to prove to you that I'm actually trying to attain more money. But it's just the opposite. Yeah. It's less action, more thought, more alignment, and it's staying within, and then doing that meditation, doing that work, having that coach, and that's when it comes to you. And so that's I want to go into the next point. And so this is the last point I want to make from this. So I saw all the keynote speakers. I did a few breakout sessions. One was how to brand yourself. One was how to make yourself stand out from the crowd. And then I did a couple other breakout sessions. And all these women that were up there, Trace, I'm telling you, when I felt them, and you can see this one common thing, this one common thread through them all. And honestly, it's as simple as they really stopped caring about what other people thought, and how the most important voice was their own. And they all said it in their own way with their own words. And I'm telling you, it's like they did the unthinkable. They never labeled anything as an obstacle but an opportunity. And this is throughout it was from it started at 6:30 in the morning. So from 6:30 in the morning till 5:00 in the afternoon, throughout all the speakers, this was the one thing I heard throughout every single story were these common truths. Stop caring what other people have to say. Stop. The most important voice is your own voice. They never labeled anything as an obstacle but an opportunity. And also what I realized was just it was as simple as once they made the decision to not do these things anymore. And it's like they all had access to that same voice or to that same energy. And whatever this voice is, it propels them to greatness. So once you stop holding all that baggage and stop caring, and I mean, they got rid of toxic relationships. They stepped out of toxic relationships, toxic work environments. And then even from Michelle's mouth, she set down how she wanted to be treated from the beginning. You know what I mean? I'm this is the difference of the women on the stage and some of the women in the audience, including myself. That is a difference. And that's what I saw. I'm wow. And it's really as simple as deciding to change. So what do you...
Go ahead.
So I was just going to open the mic to you. What do you think about all that?
Well, I love that you experienced that. For you, Tia, knowing you in the direction that you're going, it's powerful for you to experience that and really see that at a high level, because it's so true. And the one thing that I can say, because I always say you have to do the work, but here's the thing about doing the work. Once you have made that decision, the work is not hard. It's harder to do the work that you're doing now, that you're holding on to the past, you're holding on to the depression, not you, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're holding on to depression, you're holding on to the pain, you're holding on to things instead of just waking up and saying, hey, I don't want to live like this anymore, and make those conscious choices and not care, like you said in the beginning, what people are thinking, but not care who leaves either. Letting go and trusting yourself that you are doing what's right to you will bring the right people to you. It will bring the right circumstances to you. It literally, inside of you, you will find the power to call forth to you, anything and everything. And so as long as you're holding, for me, just give you an example, that I have recently gone vegan.
Yes.
That I I literally have just literally changed my entire life. I decided that I was going to go abstinent until I got married. I, got rid of the negative relationships, all ties to anything that I thought, that I felt had some sort of chain on me, and stopped listening to the voices of those things that were firing back at me. I don't want to hear those, because I am going to walk in who I am. I'm going to call forth everything that I know that I have in me and trust that it's coming.
Right.
Just do the work and trust that it's coming. Know that it's there. I have done the work. I've released those chains. I've released those beliefs. I'm no longer ashamed or afraid of anything that I've been through in my past. And now I can walk forward powerfully, and know that those energies are aligned with what's coming to me. And just know that I'm safe. You have to trust. You can't just wake up every morning and say, oh, my gosh, what if? You have to wake up every morning and be grateful and thankful. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm so excited to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning these days. I love waking up at 4. Half the time I don't get sleep, and it's not draining me. It's lifting me, because I'm so excited about my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's that power and that trust that you know that you're walking in your full fulfillment, all your potential, that you believe that the divine energy, everything is guiding you, that you're trusting your source, that you really know that you're connected, and your being are going into its highest form. Trusting that and releasing, again, I have to say this, energy is everything. Energy is everything. And when you really see that at a high level, the obstacles are not there. They're not. Because you don't have to worry about them. You don't even have to think about them. I told somebody the other day, if you want something and you truly believe in what you want, you truly believe that it's going to come to you, why are you still talking about it? It's coming. It's done. Let go. That's part of the action.
Let go.
Take the action, do the work, and then believe. Go watch a movie. Go, hey, I know, I decided that I was going to be whatever I'm going to be tomorrow, and there it is. I did the work. I put the process together. I trust me, and that I've done all the right things. And you stay right, you're going to get right all day, every day. And you have to trust that. Trust yourself and know that the next level is coming to you, because you've done everything. You put the energy out there. You put the full intention out there, and you have let go of what people believe that you should be, what people are telling you, all those voices in your head, and you're really, really listening to your divine, your full purpose, and then letting it live. Water it, and then walk away.
Let it go, right? Let it go. I love it. Thank you. You definitely were tuned in, tapped in, turned on with that one. You definitely flew with that one, and I love it. And let me tell you, and you said something to me that made me think of this one thing. I don't know if you, I love this one person. It's Sri Muji Baba, and he's absolutely amazing. And it's likened to what you said, when you have the thought in your mind and you have faith in it, you believe in it, you just let it flow and all things come to you. And I think that that's believing in something greater than yourself, right? Because at that point, when it's just you feel so alone when you're just thinking within I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to make this, I need to make this happen. And it feels so lonely, that So when you just evolve and you expand to know that, there's more happening here than what I understand, so so what I'm going to do is that I'll say this and I'll feel this way. And you start to, so what he says is that, when you are you move as an individual, you're going through life as an individual. But when you understand that you're more than just an I, but you are consciousness, you move as an environment, and all things that you need to live becomes a part of you. It gets added to you. It flows to you. The environment has everything it needs, does it not? So you start to move as an environment. So I love that. So last thing, before we go, tell everyone where they can find you, your website, how to reach out to you, and just one closing thought.
Well, I actually just did a podcast, a local podcast, Sitting Pretty, Keeping It Real.
Yes, that was a great show.
Oh, my God, it was amazing.
That was a great show.
Look out for that. They're a local podcast in Arizona. You can find me at Instagram at Trace Your Life. My website is traceyourlife.com, TraceYourlife.com. On Facebook, it's Trace Zen or Trace Your Life. What's coming up is tomorrow I am doing a 3-day live mindset intelligence course. It's in a secret group. You can actually register for it on my website. Next week, I will be doing an energy healing hike in San Francisco. And closing thought is really, I really want to get the message out that you can change your mind, you can change your life, and it really is just a simple click of making that choice and making that decision. Yes, there's going to be work behind it. Yes, you're going to have to, get past all of those chains and those past limited beliefs, but it is so possible to live a powerful, purposeful life, and I am walking in it, and I'm sharing it because I believe in it at such a high level, and I want it for everybody else.
Yes. Thank you so much, Trace, for being on the show today. It was definitely like a breath of fresh air. I have wanted to have a show like this for so long. I'm so happy that this first show talking about energy and alignment was with you. So thank you so much. You're my girl.
Thank you.
Totally appreciate it.
I love you.
I love you too. And I'm going to say bye to all the listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next is Delilah Robin. So stay tuned and make sure. I do want to give a shout out to the girls at Sitting Pretty Podcast. I think they have an awesome podcast. They had my girl Trace on. I listened to it. I loved it. So shout out to you guys. But in the meantime, stay lit, love, inspired, and true. And Tracy, I will call you right after this. All right.
Awesome. Love you. Bye.
Okay. I love you. Bye.